Mr. Vice President, how many times have you ever spoken to your son about his overseas business dealings?
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings.
Hunter told his dad, according to Rob Walker, quote, "I may be trying to start a company or try to do something with these guys." Now, let me ask you something. That doesn't sound much like Joe Biden was involved in whatever Hunter Biden was doing with the CEFC if Hunter Biden is telling him that he's trying to do business with them, does it?
No, but it does show that he told his father he was trying to do business. And he was
okay, well, that is true. Hunter Biden does try to do business.
Okay, so Dan Goldman is a shameless liar. This guy has been trying to run interference and manipulate the American people regarding the House's investigation into the Biden crime family. You know, Joe Biden and his crackhead son, Hunter Biden, peddling money and doing all types of shady things with foreign nationals. Representative Dan Goldman from New York, those radical leftists up there in New York, put him in power. And here he is trying to boost his own career by lying. You would think that he doesn't have to do this because he comes from money. He's an heir to the Levi Strauss clothing company. He got big money waiting on him, but he's not worried about that. Right now, he just wants to boost his career by getting cozy with one of the most corrupt families in American history. So last week, Devon Archer testified for 5 hours with the House Oversight and Accountability Committee. Dan Goldman, he's part of that committee. So while Archer was shedding light on exactly what was going on with Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, and these corrupt oligarchs, Goldman was trying to run interference. He was trying to put words in his mouth. He was basically trying to steer Archer along during the testimony. He's trying to say, well, was this going on? It was like this, right? Just repeat me. So right after the committee hearing ended, we didn't have access to it because it was behind closed doors, because they're always doing crap behind closed doors in DC. So this was behind closed doors. The transcript wasn't released immediately. So that means both sides can create their own narrative. And what the Democrats, mainly Goldman, did, they came out and said, oh yeah, there's nothing to see here. The witness said that Joe Biden knew nothing at all about what Hunter Biden was doing. The only time when Hunter Biden called Joe Biden and put him on speaker, they were just talking about the weather, how the kids, do you like to go fishing? Besides that, there was nothing else going on. So what we found out is that that wasn't true because Goldman is a liar and he's bad at it. The transcripts were released way faster than expected. It normally takes several weeks, and if this would have taken weeks, this could have been buried in the news cycle. But this took a couple of days. So he came out, gave the story, transcript comes out, and we're actually going to look at this CBS news report because what's shocking is CBS is actually doing some real journalism. So they're going to break it down for us better.
Transcripts of the House Oversight Committee's interview with Hunter Biden's business associate, Devon Archer, were released this morning. The committee questioned Archer Monday to gain insight into the Biden family's business dealings. CBS News senior investigative correspondent Catherine Herridge is following this story for us from Washington. I bet you this, well, I'm thinking this was interesting reading, Catherine. There's a lot of speculation about what this individual would say. And also, you know, isn't he sort of due to turn himself into jail? He's got his own legal issues to deal with. Yes, thank you very much. So, Catherine, what do the transcripts tell us?
Well, first off, Emery, I would say that it's several hundred pages in length, and I'm still reviewing those pages this morning. Devon Archer is scheduled to go to federal prison.
All right, now they're trying to discredit the witness a little bit, saying, well, I mean, he said these things, but, you know, take it with a grain of salt because he's in trouble for some other stuff. And so apparently Archer got in some trouble for running fraud against the Native Americans, but that's a different story.
But I would remind people that this deposition was essentially under oath, and if he misled Congress, that would leave him open to prosecution for criminal perjury. One of the headlines I've seen so far is that Devon Archer did tell congressional investigators that he felt that this was about the Biden brand, and he testified in his view that Joe Biden brought the most value to this brand. And he also testified about these speakerphone calls where Hunter Biden would put his father on speaker when he was with business associates. He did not see them discussing business transactions. But he said this was part of a pattern of sending signals about the family's influence and also issues of access.
Right. So during these calls, Biden typically wouldn't go super deep into detail on what exactly was going on in those businesses. So Hunter would call him just to say, look, I got power. I got access to very powerful people in D.C. Watch this right here. Let me call the vice president of the United States and put him on speakerphone with y'all. So when he gets in front of these business people, these foreign nationals, they're very impressed with this. They're like, wow, this guy got some weight. He can really help us out in this venture. And that was pretty much all the signal that was needed. Hint, hint.
Why are Democrats and Republicans disagreeing on the context of the transcripts?
Well, earlier this week, we just had to rely on the characterization from Republicans and Democrats about Devon Archer's testimony, but now we can see the full transcript. You'll recall that Democrat Congressman Dan Goldman said that Archer testified that it was the illusion of access to Joe Biden that Hunter Biden was offering to these clients. But in fact, when you look at the transcript, what you see is that that phrase, illusion of access, is in Dan Goldman's question. It's actually not what Devon Archer testified to. He says, yes, but that's not quite fair. This was about showing that there was the signal that there's influence and access here. And Archer goes on to say that there were business meetings that Joe Biden attended, or business meetings, rather, meals with business associates. And what he also said is that after at least one of those meals, money was wired to Hunter Biden that he believed had paid for one of his sports cars. So there's a lot here in addition to these emails as well.
I find it interesting that the transcripts were released. I mean, is this everything that he said? Because often we don't get everything, we get bits and pieces. Oh, you know, what's the significance of having sort of the entire transcript available?
I think you've keyed in on something really important, Anne-Marie, which is that it's not so usual to have a full transcript release, especially this quickly, because it has to go through a formal review process, which involves having the person who testified review it a final time, offer any clarifications and input, and then essentially sign off on it. So that's happened in very short order. I asked one of the Republican aides on that committee, because it's a Republican-controlled investigation, why they moved so quickly to release all of the transcript, and they felt the Democrats' characterization was unfounded. So the great thing now is that we can independently review this transcript and reach our own conclusions about what Devon Archer alleged about these Biden family businesses and whether the records also, these emails, back it up sufficiently.
So there you go right there. This guy is a shameless liar. He comes out there, lies to the American people, saying that Devon Archer said Joe Biden, Hunter Biden were doing nothing wrong at all. Everything was cool. Then he says, no, Hunter Biden was selling the illusion of access. Joe Biden didn't know anything about this. Hunter Biden was just tricking these people into believing that they can get access to the VP. That was a lie. We look at the transcript and we see the only person who said something about illusion of access is Goldman himself. He said, wait, you mean not access, but the illusion of access? So you're making up stuff. You're trying to lead the witness on, and then you're coming out there telling the American people that the witness said what you said. Remember George Santos? Remember how they shamed this guy because he lied about his past and they want to kick him out of Congress? He needs to be censured and all that. What about this guy? What about a guy like him who comes out here and shows himself to be a bald-faced liar? Can we censor him? Can we get rid of him? Because this is despicable. This is just a shameless lie to protect the corruption in the Biden family. What's he getting out of this? Is he getting a kickback too? Joe Biden's getting 10%. Is Goldman getting 5%? We don't know what the hell is going on because he's like a little lapdog trying his best, and he's terrible at it, but he's trying his best to run an interference. And let's take a look at a couple of more clips of Devon Archer. He sat down with Tucker Carlson, and we can get some more insight with these. So take a look.
There's no corruption here at all. This is totally normal. Joe Biden had no role whatsoever in his son's business or knowledge of it. But
Right.
that seems false.
Yeah, I think that's categorically false. I think that he was aware of Hunter's business. He met with Hunter's business partners. You found a letter that illustrates that he knew me.
And he's thanking you. He's thanking you for his efforts.
So I think that was, I think
your efforts. Yeah.
I think that that's not factually right. To be, completely clear on the calls, I don't know if powerful though, because, if you're sitting with a foreign business person and you hear the vice president's voice, that's prize enough. I mean, that's pretty impactful stuff for anyone in the world.
Dear Devon, I apologize for not getting a chance to talk to you at the luncheon yesterday. I was having trouble getting away from hosting President Hu Jintang, who was running China at that point. I hope I get a chance to see you again soon with Hunter. I hope you enjoyed lunch. Thanks for coming. Sincerely, Joseph R. Biden Jr. P.S. Handwritten, happy you guys are together.
So the bottom line is, these Democrats are lying. They're exposed. They're trying to run interference. Dan Goldman has no shame at all, and he needs to be kicked out of Congress. So New York, get your act together. Remember this man when you go to the booth next year. So the ball's rolling on this. Biden is going down. There's nothing that these Dems can do to stop it. Let me know what you think. Leave me your thoughts below. Share the video. Thanks for watching.